Good evening, buenas noches. ¿Cómo están todos? Good evening. Today I'll be talking about advanced parole and DACA and any other questions that you guys may have. Don't be shy to ask your questions. Aquí estamos para ayudarlos. Hey, I see we have 2 viewers. Where are you guys joining us from? Good evening, buenas noches. ¿Cómo están el día de hoy? No tengan pena, ask your questions en inglés o en español o en francés. What process are you guys in? Have you guys applied for AP already? Are you guys waiting? Are you guys still a little bit nervous about applying? Pascual Martinez, howdy, tuning in from El Paso on my way to San Jose, California. Hey, I hope you drive safe. I hope you're not driving. Safe travels. And thank you for tuning in. Have you done advanced parole already? If not, why not? No tengan pena, chicos. I did advanced parole hace 2 años, 2 years ago. I did advanced parole for humanitarian reasons to visit my grandmother, and I also included my grandfather's death certificate. He passed away about 5-6 years ago, and I got 6 months multiple entries. I flew out of Dallas, Texas, and I came back through, I believe it was American Airlines. I used my advanced parole document twice. The first time again through airline, and then the second time we drove in through Laredo. And now I am a green card holder. All right, second question. Mariah, mi esposo está esperando la renovación para poder enviar el AP. Ay, Dios mío, las renovaciones están tardando muchísimo más de lo normal. Pero espero que ya le llegue la renovación pronto para que ya puedan aplicar. Espero antes del 1 de abril. El 1 de abril los precios van a subir de advanced parole. Dice, sí, tiene desde octubre. Sí, se están tardando muchísimo. No sé por qué. Israsi, ¿crees que siga AP next year con el nuevo presidente? Saludos. Por el momento, seguimos teniendo el mismo presidente, y si lo reeligen, supongo que todavía vamos a tener advanced parole. Por eso es que siempre les decimos, apliquen lo más pronto posible y no tengan miedo. Aquí hay muchas personas que han aplicado, tenemos miles de miembros. We have thousands of members that have done advanced parole and have returned safely. Carla Mendoza, can you travel with AP by land and take your own vehicle? Yes, that's what I did 2 years ago. I traveled through Nuevo Laredo, in Laredo, Texas. I do recommend you searching up the ports of entry in our Facebook group. For example, Laredo. I came back through Laredo. People come back through, I don't know, another port of entry. You know, whatever port of entry you plan on coming through, make sure that you search it up on Facebook because people may have different experiences, some better than others. Pascual Martinez, I just discovered the group. Me and my wife are recently married. I am a citizen trying to learn the steps we need to take to get her residency. I am so glad that you guys are both here and she has your support. If she has DACA, she definitely needs to do advanced parole if she does not have a legal entry yet. And hopefully you are following us on Facebook. Jay, hello, just got in. Are we still good to travel with AP if we have a deportation order? I just got approved earlier this month for multiple entries and I have a removal in absentia order. Yes, you can. We have several members that have traveled with open orders of deportation. The one that comes off the top of my head is Hugo da Silva. If you are in our Facebook group, you can search him up. Also, Wilmer Palacios has also traveled with an open order of deportation. Alma Escamilla, ¿cuánto tiempo te tomó para tener tu green card? Hola, Alma, buenas noches. A mí me tardó el proceso 6 meses. Mandé mi aplicación de residencia en marzo del año pasado, del 2023, y me llegó mi residencia en septiembre del 2023. Hazel, hola amiguis, hola, ¿cómo estás? KD, ¿se tarda mucho online o si lo haces por mail? KD, supongo que estás hablando de la renovación de DACA. Por el momento, no hay manera de decir cuánto se va a tardar tu renovación, porque en ambos, en online, en línea o por correo, se están tardando más o menos 5 meses. La razón que usará es dental. ¿Crees que sí se lo aprueben o necesita poner otra razón más? Hemos tenido muchos miembros que han aplicado por razones dentales. Sí se lo van a aplicar, sí se lo van a aprobar. Isra, yo sé, he viajado 7 veces, solo que el abogado de ayer dijo que lo más seguro es que sea Trump y que DACA lo quitará. Por el momento, el presidente sigue siendo igual. No hay que meternos ese... Mira quién llegó. No hay que meternos... ¿Cómo estás?
Myself here. Oh, there we go. Hi.
All right. Hey, I was just answering Isra's question. He said that his lawyer said that Trump is going to be president next, and I told him, no, well, they haven't even done the elections, so let's not fearmonger ourselves, right? Let's
not fearmonger. Let's apply for advanced parole.
Apply for advanced parole, exactly. Pascual, she does have that, and yes, a part of Facebook. All right. Well, welcome again. Ana Laura Flores, hola, ¿puedo ir a visitar la tumba de mi suegro? Hace un año visité México, pero por la enfermedad de mi tía abuela. ¿Crees que yo puedo hacer la aplicación sola? Por supuesto, puedes aplicar para la tumba de tu abuelo. Sugerimos aplicar antes de que se cumplan los 2 años y si necesitas ayuda, puedes hacer una cita con nosotros. Puedes mandar un mensaje de texto a ese número. You can send a message to this number, please. Be patient and we will send you a booking link. Jay, thank you. Many people have been telling me not to do it, including lawyers around my area. Prove them wrong. You can show them once you come back with advanced parole and then fire them. And then continue to do the process by yourself. ¿Verdad que sí, Vanessa? Fire them, hire us.
Period.
Así o más fácil. KD, ¿por qué algunas personas no las entrevistan cuando aplican por la Green Card? Esa es una buena pregunta. Por el momento, muchas entrevistas no están haciendo citas para las entrevistas. A mí no me hicieron cita para entrevista. Pero, o sea, depende del oficial, depende de la evidencia que usted mande. Pero por el momento, a muchos los están aprobando en menos de 1 año. ¿Verdad que sí, Bene?
Sí, a mí yo fui con mi esposo y nomás me metieron a mí para el cuartico adentro, a él no. Como de 15 minutos ya. So it depends on who you get.
¿Cuánto te tardó para recibir tu green card? O sea, ¿cuánto te duró el proceso?
Everything 7 months.
7 months, okay.
Only because I wasn't vaccinated. And a lot of you guys are asking about the vaccine. You guys need to be vaccinated. Unfortunately, I guess I understand all that, whatever. But I feel like we've been waiting for this for too long. Like I wasn't not gonna get vaccinated just because, like, I don't believe in it or whatever the case. No, I need my green card. Like, what's that? Where? Like, here we go. We ain't doing that. So get vaccinated. You still need it now. And let's just avoid all this commotion.
All the RFEs. You don't want to get an RFE because you're missing a vaccine that you could have gotten before you submitted your application, and then now you have to wait longer. Saúl Hernández, para Advanced Parole es necesario certificar la acta de nacimiento de la persona que está aplicando. Es necesario certificar que usted la tradució. O sea, si usted la traduce o si alguien más la traduce, es necesario una certificación diciendo yo, o sea, Gabriela, traducí este documento y luego lo firmas. Tenemos muchos ejemplos en nuestro grupo. De nada. Pascual, thanks. We will be taking our next step soon. Thank you all for what you do. Thank you. Thank you for joining us and thank you for being part of our group. Yadira, hola, ¿cómo estás, chica? Ana, gracias, de nada. Luis Garcia, waiting on my AP approval receipt, date December 20th. Well, a lot of advanced parole applications are being approved from December. I don't recall the last date I saw, but it was definitely December. They're coming in hot. Sánchez Flores, hola, una preguntita. Mis papás ya murieron, pero me dejaron unas propiedades. ¿Quieres ir a visitar por esa razón, Sánchez? Victoria? Laimi Robles, if my fingerprint was taken when I entered the country in 2004 as a child, would it matter now when I have my AP?
No. If you have a deportation order, you know, that wouldn't matter either. As long as your DACA is being renewed, you're fine. If whatever you think you have in your file or whatever the case might be, if you still have DACA today, you are allowed to travel back and forth with AP. Period.
But we do suggest that you get your FOIA.
Definitely.
Your Freedom of Information Act. We have a video on our Facebook group as well, FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, just if you want to make sure what you have on your file. But as Vanessa said, if your DACA is active, you're good to travel. Fabia Acuña, quiero hacer advanced parole, pero tengo miedo. Cuando era menor, tenía 16, me crucé por el border saying I was a U.S. citizen. Me sacaron y tomaron las huellas, si me acuerdo bien. Si llego a advanced parole, cuando regrese para Estados Unidos, me negarán entrada. Tengo 8 años con DACA. ¿Qué dices, Vanessa? Declare she was a citizen at the border.
At the border, we have to do a FOIA. So we need to do a FOIA and see. That's, you know, usually you're banned, so you can't get a green card if you say that you're a U.S. citizen anywhere. But we need to do a FOIA first. Let's not panic. Let's do a FOIA, do a CBP FOIA. You know, I'll say like a FBI FOIA. Do that one, those two, and see what comes up. Okay, because that's kind of like a little, you know, too much.
Un poquito más grave al decir que eres un ciudadano. Si te declaras como un ciudadano con algún oficial de la frontera, bueno, primero hay que checar lo que tengas en tu FOIA. Primero saca tu FOIA y luego, después de que te lleguen los resultados, podemos ver si puedes aplicar para Advanced Parole. Pero no te preocupes ahorita, saca tu FOIA. Sí, tengo una carta del dentista para hacerme seguimiento ahora que fui a México en noviembre del 2023. ¿Sería suficiente ese comprobante para aplicar para AP por segunda vez o es mejor pedir otro estimado? ¿Qué dices tú?
I think add that one and then get a new one, right? Para que vean que todavía te necesita trabajo, you know, so usa esa, pero pide una nueva, con la cosa nueva que tiene que hacerte.
Uno actualizado. Giovanni Ponce, Jay had everything ready to send, or I had everything ready to send before I found out I was in a permanent bar. Please follow DACA's check in what situation you are before doing anything. What do you mean you have a bar?
Is that for AOS or for AP, Giovanni? I think he was replying back to somebody.
Omar Ramos, tuvo un arresto en el 2014, pero mi caso fue dismissed. Alguien que haya entrado con AP y no haya tenido problema al regresar.
Omar, si tienes DACA ahora mismo, no hay ningún problema. Puedes viajar. Eso fue en el 2014, ya tú pasaste tu tiempo, estamos en el 2024, you're still able to renew your DACA, you're fine.
Luis Garcia, yeah, I saw some people get approved from the 20th. Sadly, I got to wait on whatever worker has my case. Yeah. So remember, guys, the applications are adjudicated by different officers. So just because you see an approval on, let's say, December 20th, and you submitted your application December 20th, doesn't necessarily mean yours is going to get approved because everybody's case is with a different officer.
Yes.
Yadira González, ¿aún puedo aplicar para AP? Sería mi primera vez y tengo miedo. Claro, por supuesto, aquí estamos. Aquí tenemos a muchos miembros que están aplicando, aplicaron y van a seguir aplicando. Aplica ahora. Y si tienes miedo, puedes mandar un mensaje de texto a este número, 203-437-7566. Manda un mensaje diciendo que necesitas ayuda para AP, Advanced Parole, y te mandamos un enlace para que agendes tu cita. Sánchez Flores, sí, a ver si puedo aplicar para AP. Claro que sí. Como dije, también pueden mandar un mensaje de texto a este número para agendar una cita, chicos.
I gotta study some background.
I'm like, ¿a dónde? Anderson, I have a deportation order and came back fine. You're good. ¿Ves? Aquí tenemos a otra persona. Uy, Anderson, thank you for your testimony. Annie NB, buenas tardes. Si enviamos el AOS antes del 1 de abril, tenemos que usar los impuestos de mi hijo del 2022 o el 2023.
Yeah, the last 3. Mándalo 3 últimos, si puedes.
3 últimos. Si él ya declaró los impuestos este año, mándalos la declaración de este año. Los últimos 3 años. Pero si todavía no los ha hecho, todavía puedes mandar tu aplicación.
Sí.
Ari Valencia, hola, ¿las actas traducidas tienen que estar notariadas a fuerzas o las puedo traducir yo y mandarlas así? No tienen que estar notarizadas, pero tienen que estar certificadas. Esto es una gran diferencia. Al certificar las traducciones, tú tienes que declarar que tú las traduciste y firmarlas. Puedes buscar eso en el grupo Certification, Translation, Certification, certificación de traducimiento. He's saying AOS, Giovanni. He said he had everything ready to send before I found out I was in a permanent bar. Giovanni, have you been ready?
Who filed your paperwork? Yourself or like a lawyer?
Well, he said he didn't send it yet, but he found out he had a permanent bar.
Oh, he didn't send it yet. So how do you know you have a permanent bar? Like, what is a permanent bar to you, Giovanni? Let me know what's a permanent bar to you.
Fabia Cuña, tengo FOIA de USCIS, pero ni tengo nada. También FBI, no me ha salido nada. Apenas mandé OBIM FOIA en enero. ¿Ustedes saben cuánto se tarda ese FOIA? Eso es el de OBIM como un año, menos de un año, pero sí se tarda el OBIM. Daniela Salinas, I'm working on applying for AP. I want to request 1 year multiple entries for dental. Hopefully to submit beginning in April. Would I still have a chance to get the full year? My DACA expires 6/25. Definitely. Yeah, if your DACA expires until next year, there is a high chance that you can get that 1 year multiple entries. Just make sure that you have sufficient evidence that states that you need to be there for a year consecutively.
Like you guys ask the doctors or the dentists to give you like the dates where you guys are going. So let's say you gotta go in, June, then like July maybe, or maybe like in September, whatever, space them out, have them space them out, and that way you have to be there this date, that date, and it's not just like 1 month and you do everything in 1 month. So
Karen Reyes, cuando entres con AP, ¿te tiene que regresar los 2 papeles o se quedan con uno? A mí solo me regresaron la primera hoja, se quedaron con la segunda. Tengo multiple entries. Bueno, tienen que regresarte las 2 hojas, pero si tienes la hoja que tiene tu foto y tiene las fechas en rojo, eso sería suficiente para usar el AP otra vez. Pero si tienes 2 hojas y tienes entradas múltiples, es mejor que te regresen los 2 documentos. Pero vas a estar bien si tienes la hoja con tu foto y las fechas. Eso es lo que importa. Dice Joana, ¿puedo aplicar otra vez por razón dental? Sí, ustedes pueden aplicar las veces que quieran, con que tengan razón válida para seguir aplicando. Ok, muchas gracias. Alice, pregunta, mi amigo no renovó hace tiempo, como 3 años. ¿Puede mandar renovación aún para DACA?
No.
Por el momento, solo están aceptando renovaciones. O sea, puede mandar la aplicación, pero no se la van a procesar. Solo están aceptando renovaciones y se considera una aplicación nueva si ha sido más de 1 año de que se caducó o se venció tu DACA. Nunca dejen que se venza su DACA, aunque estén en el proceso de ajuste de estatus. Siempre renueven su DACA. Always renew your DACA, even if you're in the process of getting your green card. Renew it until you have your green card in hand.
Yes.
I renewed my DACA. Oh, I had sent my DACA application, and then a month later, my AOS was approved, and I was like, I lost that money, but
Yeah.
you still have to send it because you never know how long it's going to take. You never know if you're going to get an RFE. Anything can happen, so it's better to be safe.
Yeah.
Mayra, mi permiso se vence en agosto de este año. Ayer mandé mi renovación. Quiero ir a ver a mi papá que está enfermo. ¿Crees que sea muy riesgoso mandar un AP? Mira, si está muy enfermo, tú puedes aplicar para InfoPass, que es Advanced Parole de emergencia. Eso es lo que yo sugiero. Ahora, si no te aprueban en tu InfoPass, puedes mandar tu permiso de Advanced Parole y mientras que se está procesando la aplicación, puedes mandar tu aplicación de DACA. O ya lo puedes mandar porque se están tardando las renovaciones de DACA. Puedes mandar tu renovación ahorita y mandar tu recibo con tu permiso de Advanced Pro, aplicación de Advanced Pro. Giovanni Ponce dice, I was ready to send my AOS, had a call with Dreamers Together. Oh, they told me I couldn't do anything because I was in a permanent bar. I have DACA, did Advanced Pro, got married, and found out that I was in a permanent bar without knowing. Please stop, I was here since 1993, but mom decided to go see her mom to Mexico in 2002 and got caught coming back.
That's what happened. I'm gonna look into that, Giovanni. And see, did you send any files to the team? I mean, the team already saw it, but I'll take a second look at it if it means anything to you, you know, and see what if anything, we could just have one of the lawyers have you contact one of our lawyers and see what's another possibility. But dang, that's the thing, that we don't know, like, if our mom and dad's brought us back so many times, got caught. Sometimes I don't even remember. And it sucks for us because same situation, you get to do everything. You get to travel, you come back, you're married, you have a child over 21, and you go try to do AOS, and it's like, well, you have so many entries. That's not okay. But FOIAs are always best to find these things out, CPP entry, all that good stuff. But always double check, like Giovanni said. So yeah.
And this is why we suggest, or we highly encourage you to keep renewing your DACA, because in these situations, if you don't know, and if something pops up, at least you still have your DACA to fall back on.
Example. Yep, perfect example.
Luis Angon, is it advisable to fly from LAX to Tijuana for dental work to avoid the port of entry? Yeah, you can. People cross Tijuana all the time. We have several members that have done that.
I would suggest flying, though. I like flying better than to deal with those officers. I mean, I don't know. Maybe from TJ's different because it's like right there. Is that like by San Diego?
Yeah, it's right by San Diego.
Okay, so like them other borders are like horrible. So I wouldn't even. I'd rather you guys fly.
That's what I said in the beginning. If you're crossing by car, we have people that have had great experiences. I personally had an officer that was not experienced at all, did not know what advanced parole was, tried to tell me I couldn't cross. I had to school her on what advanced parole was. And that's another thing. Be confident because you know what your document is. You don't be afraid of informing another officer. Just because they have a badge does not mean that they are more knowledgeable than you are.
Honestly.
Anderson, on the form I-765, when renewing DACA for the section last time of entry to the U.S., do we put our AP return dates? Yes, you do. We have a video. Guys, check out our content. We have so
much. You guys don't. They don't love us, man. They don't love. Like, what else do you guys want from us? Like, we have whole videos on there, how to renew your DACA and all that good stuff. How to do your AP, like. Let's get it together, please. Come on.
Erika, I was doing consular process and my waiver just got approved. Can I still do AOS here in the USA? Yes, you can. And I highly suggest that you do adjustment of status because anything can go wrong in a consular interview. We had a member that went out and she had all her T's crossed, I's dotted, allegedly, and something happened and she got, I don't know, I think a 5-year bar, a 10-year bar, and she was a DACA recipient. So you always want to make sure that if you have DACA and if you did advanced parole, you don't want to do consular processing. In fact, you shouldn't be doing consular processing if you have DACA. KD, I am sending my AP this week. If in 3 months they approve, it will be July. My DACA expires in December. If the AP is given for 12 months, how does that work? So your advanced parole document is not approved longer than what your DACA is active for. Does that make sense? So if it expires in December, it's not, your dates are not going to go past December.
Right.
You can renew your DACA while your AP is processing, or you can renew your DACA now, send your receipts along with your advanced parole application. That way they know, hey, this person's DACA is also being processed. Liliana Delgadillo. Hola, tengo mis papeles listos para AOS. Vine a los 14 años en 1997, nunca salí hasta diciembre con AP. ¿Necesito hacer las huellas? Gracias. Saliste con permiso de USCIS, así que esa entrada es legal. Si tú sabes que no has salido ninguna otra vez, no es necesario hacer FOIA. Sugerimos hacer FOIA si no sabes cuántas entradas tienes. So you left the United States with advanced parole. That's a legal entry, right? That was permission by USCIS. We suggest doing FOIA if you don't know how many entries you have. Martina Zúñiga, hola. ¿Qué recomiendan para pedir mi primer cita? The dentista, June or July, sending AP application next week or beginning of April. Permiso. I suggest July, porque son 4 meses. Annie, en la pregunta que viene en la I-485, si hemos trabajado sin autorización, somos padres de hijo mayor de 22 años y estamos tratando de hacer nuestro AOS. ¿Nos perdonan el haber trabajado sin autorización o solo es esposo de ciudadanos? Es perdonado cuando estás haciendo ajuste de estatus, ya sea con esposo o hijo. Entonces, sí, pon sí. Nada pasa. En el párrafo de la última página explicas, trabajé sin autorización durante las fechas, voy a decir, junio del 2007 a diciembre del 2008, por ejemplo. Daniela Salinas, also I waited so long to even try to apply for AP just because I was scared, but now that I'm actually doing it, it seems too easy, because it is. Am I missing something, or is it really that easy? It really is. It seems like getting a doctor note from out of the country is the hardest part. Yes, that is the hardest part, because a lot of doctors can just take a while. Sometimes people say, I need it for immigration purposes, which we say don't say that, right? Because then a doctor is going to be like, no, I'm not going to write it. But yeah, it's a fairly simple application. The application is only like, 15 questions, and half of them are your name, address, date of birth, all things that we should know.
I think the thing is that, Daniela, is that the fear mongering, our parents, don't do it, or your uncle, whoever, got caught and this and that, then you hear those things and you get like a little, you don't want to do it anymore. And then, you find a group like ours that is the best of the best, and you just got to do what we're going to tell you to do it. Regardless, if you don't have a reason, find a reason. Dental's the easiest, and if you can't, just travel with us. We have a travel abroad program. You guys can travel with me and to the Dominican Republic, and we just go and do what we got to do. I feel like a lot of people just have a lot of excuses. We don't do excuses. You got to do what you got to do. At the end of the day, it's your future, so you got to take some type of risk sometimes. But that's just my take.
You got to get that legal entry. You got to get that legal entry now, cuando puedas. Yeah, that's the hardest part. And then translating was also kind of, you have to take
a little
time.
bit of time. Right.
Other than that, boom. Roxana Lara, mi DACA se vence los últimos de septiembre. ¿Puedo mandar la renovación ya antes de que suban los precios? Sí, puedes mandar la aplicación ya. Ya la puedes mandar.
I think a lot of people should start renewing now, though.
Yeah, because it's taking forever.
Yeah, this is forever. Elections are coming up. You guys already know how that go, how they be using us for a joke. And I think if you're close to your, unos 7 meses, que sea, yo lo mando, porque es que uno nunca sabe lo que va a pasar, honestly. So, yeah.
Dice Maria, I'm sending my AP today. If I send it, how much? $575. Before April 1st, $575. Raul Gonzalez, any approval experiences for the Form I-601 COVID waiver due to religious moral beliefs? My civil surgeon appointment is next Friday. We don't do waivers. I haven't seen a waiver approval. You have to prove that it is actually a religious reason and not a political belief. A COVID vaccine is required. The new one is required. So just keep that in mind. A political belief is not.
Yeah, if you're doing a 601, that means you're going out of the country. So I would definitely get a vaccine if you're going out of the country. Why are you even doing that? Do you not have DACA, Raul?
Marina, I don't know what that is.
I think he's
tagging people.
Yeah.
You said KD. Also, is there anything wrong when applying for AP to put ASAP in the request, or will they send an RFE? I also don't have an acceptable letter from Mexico Justice nor an appointment confirmation, just the quotes with translation.
I mean, that's fine with that. We were just saying if you're able to get those dates, it'll be fine. But when you make an affidavit, you make it real sexy, and then you say, "Hey, I gotta go this date, that date," and let immigration know. Once you let them know the dates and things like that, if they send you an RFE, then maybe you can request it or not. You kind of like go from there.
Mm-hmm.
You can put ASAP if you want. That's fine.
Jessica Espinosa, do you need to travel with your work permit for AP? If you have it, yes.
Yes.
I would travel with my,
Yes.
Isa Giovanni Ponce, thank you. Yes, can you please look at my file? They gave me hope with victim of crime, which I was victim of crime.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cool, I'll do that. That way I don't apply again for AP for my new work permits.
I lost your question, but I think yes, Katie.
Liliana, muchas gracias, son las mejores. Gracias a usted, gracias por ustedes, gracias por estar aquí, gracias por ser parte de nuestro grupo. Ya somos más de 30,000. ¿Cuántos?
We're almost at 40, Gabby. We're almost at 40.
I haven't even seen it.
Yes. Ustedes son demasiada gente. We're almost at 40,000. 40,000 folks, yeah.
Let me see. What the heck?
Oh, yeah. Yes. But I have to go. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, guys. See you guys later.
See you later.
Get out of here. Is it like this? Hold on, Gabby. Oh.
I'll remove you if we want. There we go. All right, so yeah, we're at 39,000. Dice, gracias por responder. Gracias a usted. Castillo, hola, ¿habrá algún problema salir con AP si cuando entré a USA me agarraron como 5 veces? Si usted tiene DACA vigente, no va a haber problema, pero sugiero que saques tu FOIA, porque si usted piensa en hacer ajuste de estatus, tal vez esas entradas la perjudiquen. Nicolás, quiero salir con mi combo card out of the country, pero ¿qué pasa si me niegan the I-485? So before they deny an application, they're going to send a request for evidence. So you are safe to travel with a combo card. Liliana, perdón, una pregunta más. ¿Necesito mandar las actas de nacimiento de mis otros hijos? Mi AOS es por medio de mi hijo. No, solo se manda el acta de nacimiento del hijo que te va a pedir. Nancy, do you need the new vaccine for advanced parole? No, you do not need vaccinations for advanced parole. Gracias a ustedes y a este grupo, por fin me animé a meter mi AP ayer. Dejé mi paquete con el correo. ¡Yay! Espero que te lo prueben rápido. Hanny, mi esposa entró aquí en el 94 y lo sacaron a México en el año 1996. Lo sacaron, o sea, lo deportaron. Regresó en el 2001 y desde entonces hasta hoy está trabajando sin autorización. ¿Cómo puedo explicar las fechas si no son continuas? ¿Están tratando de hacer ajuste de estatus? Okay, Maria, they didn't approve my emergency for AP, but they mentioned something about expediting. What is the difference? So expediting for advanced parole rarely works, but you can try. It's usually for applications that are taking over the normal processing time. You call USCIS and you ask to speak to a officer, or you chat Emma and request if they can expedite your case. You'll need your receipt number. Dice Luis, ¿alguien ha tenido problemas cruzando por tierra? Problemas, no. Yo crucé por tierra hace 2 años y los oficiales no estaban muy informados de lo que era Advanced Parole. Así que si vas a cruzar por tierra, siempre sugiero que busques la entrada en nuestro grupo. O sea, si vas a cruzar por Laredo, busca Laredo, Port of Entry, I don't know, Brownsville, Reynosa. Yes, Beth, I just got my AP approved for the first time with multiple entries. I will be sending my DACA renewal in June, but plan on entering in July. Technically, my exit entrance will happen during the time my renewal is being processed. Will there be any issues? No, there will not be any issues. Jessica Espinosa, what if you've lost your work permit? Could you still travel? I have a photocopy of it. You should be safe. If you have a copy of it, I would also travel with the approval notice, the I-765. Raul may be confused with the process. I got my AP re-entry on February. On my record is fine. I-130 approved in 2019. So my biggest issue is trying to get a COVID waiver in order to process AOS. I don't want a COVID vaccine due to religious beliefs. If you have legitimate religious beliefs where in your religion they do not allow a single vaccine, and not just one, a single vaccine, then that could be a legitimate reason. But if it's a political reason, then good luck with that. But I have not seen any vaccine waivers be approved. And in fact, we don't help with them. We always suggest a lawyer because they are expensive. Annie, sí, Gaby, en año 1996 me comentaron que fue salida voluntaria y regresó en el 2001. ¿Ya sacaste su FOIA? Sánchez, hola, una pregunta. Mis papás ya fallecieron y me dejaron unas propiedades y puedo aplicar para el AP. Gracias y saludos desde New York. Es posible, pero vas a necesitar una carta de un abogado o un notario del país para explicando que necesitan tu presencia para arreglar lo de las propiedades. Nicolas, they did send me an RFE already 10 months ago and now showing on 313, 24 cases being actively reviewed by USCIS. Okay, so you already submitted your RFE and they're currently working on your case. If you need to travel and if it's an emergency, I would do it ASAP, but since they're reviewing it, I wouldn't want you to stay out longer than needed. Villanueva, for AP, do I need to provide my birth certificate translated in Spanish? If so, notarized? Is your birth certificate in English or is it already in Spanish? Or do you mean translated from Spanish to English? It doesn't need to be notarized. It needs to be certified. Liliana Delgadillo, hola, ¿cómo estás? Mi mamá está haciendo PAP por medio de mi hermano. ¿Saben cuántos se están tardando? Gracias otra vez. PAP depende. ¿Cuántos años tiene tu hermano? Is FOIA required for AP travel? It is not required, Kathy. We do recommend you getting a FOIA just so you know what's on your case. Okay, so if it's in Spanish, you need to translate it to English, and then you have to have a translation certification attached to every translated document. We have those examples in our Facebook page. Basically, what a certification is, it says, I, Gabriela, or whoever the translator is, certify that I translated this document from this language to this language to the best of my ability. You sign and you date it. But every translation must have that certification. Sí, tenemos la FOIA de CBP y no salió nada y el OBIM solo aparece la detención que tuvo en la frontera. Cuando intentó entrar, estamos tratando de hacer el ajuste de estatus. Hola, Ani, sugiero que hagas una cita con nosotros, con el Departamento de Ajuste de Estatus. Puedes mandar un mensaje de texto a ese número 203-437-7566 explicando que quieres agendar una cita para empezar tu ajuste de estatus. Mi hermano tiene 24. Okay, it could take like 6 months. I don't know what the timeline is. No sé cuánto dura el proceso de PIP, pero por lo normal es menos de un año. Sarah Marino, how can I get a FOIA? We have a FOIA video in our Facebook group. You can type in that FOIA video and you will see the video by Natalie. It's also on YouTube. Thank you for the information. You guys are the best. Thank you. Alejandra Villa, I found the old camera tickets that I am paying off tomorrow. Then applying for AP in a few weeks. Would there be any problems coming back? Camera tickets? Is it like a traffic violation? If you have like a small, I wouldn't say a small, but if you have a traffic violation ticket, that shouldn't be an issue. It's only an issue when it becomes a warrant for unpaid tickets. ¿Puedo yo ser quien certifique la traducción? Claro, si tú la traduciste, tú la puedes certificar. All right, chicos. Annie, gracias, Gaby. Ya estamos en la revisión de paquete de AOS con ustedes. Ah, mira qué bien. Solo quería una idea de cómo contestar en la página de atrás lo de trabajar sin autorización cuando no son fechas continuas del trabajo. Si no son continuas, puedes explicar. En esta fecha del año 2020 al 2021 trabajé aquí sin autorización. De este año aquí trabajé sin autorización. Se explica al último, a donde están esos párrafos, con espacio para explicar, pero no, nada pasa. Si trabajaste sin autorización, es perdonado cuando estás haciendo ajuste de estatus. Chicos, if you guys have any questions and want to book an appointment, make sure to send a text message to this number saying, hey, my name is Fulano. I'm requesting an appointment for DACA, AP, AOS. Please be specific. That way we know what link to send you. Si ustedes quieren agendar una cita, por favor, manden un mensaje a este número de texto diciendo, hola, yo me llamo Fulana, quiero agendar una cita para AP, DACA, ajuste de estatus. Y luego nosotros les vamos a mandar un enlace para que agenden la cita. Por favor, tengan paciencia. Somos un grupo de personas, somos voluntarios y vamos a contestarles lo más pronto posible. Otra pregunta. Mi hijo tiene que estar trabajando cuando cumpla sus 21 años para poder pedirnos a sus padres. Ya salí con AP y regresé al país. No tiene que estar trabajando. Si ustedes están haciendo, o si ustedes ya tienen sus 40 créditos, ustedes pueden ser sus propios sponsors. Nancy, if DACA was approved 3 months ago after turning 18, would that person still need a waiver for unlawful status? He is considering AP to get the entry. AP, do not consider doing consular process. It's more expensive. It takes 5 years and anything can go wrong. Advanced parole all the way. Alejandro Cortinas, is the I-94 required for adjustment of status? I have the physical B2 visa, but not the document or passport. I've already requested a FOIA via CBP, but based on what I've read, it takes a while before hearing back. Yeah. If you have your physical B2 visa, that should be enough, but we do suggest getting your I-94 or your legal proof of entry. And yes, it does take a while. It could take about a year. Would you talk about VAWA? Unfortunately, I cannot talk about VAWA because I don't have the knowledge to talk about it. We have lawyers in the group that are vetted by our organization that do help with VAWA. VAWA is violence against women, but unfortunately, our group does not work on these types of cases. Thank you. Thank you, Alejandro. Thank you, Nancy. Gracias. Si es más fácil procesarlo de COVID en vez del waiver, pues ni modo. No tengo ninguna vacuna de COVID. Las vacunas tienen que ser hechas con el cirujano civil o pueden ir a alguna farmacia. ¿Y cuántas se requieren? Creo que solo una por el momento. Creo que la más nueva, la dosis más nueva. Y puedes ir a cualquier farmacia. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't be of any more help, but we do have lawyers that do work on these types of cases, but for the moment, our organization does not. Gracias, Katie. Would you provide their info so we can make calls? Their info is posted on our group. You can put, you can put lawyers or vetted lawyers, suggested lawyers. You can click on my name. I've posted them. Kathy Velasquez, is FOIA more AOS based? Yes. So a FOIA is Freedom of Information Act. There's different types of FOIA for the different departments. Let's say USCIS, CBP, OBIM. So each one of those organizations or entities are going to have their own FOIA. So do you want to know what's in your USCIS account? Do you want to know how many entries have been documented with your information? It really depends on what information you're trying to get. But yes, we suggest it for AOS if you don't know how many entries or you just don't know your history. Are you familiar with 42B? I am not familiar with 42B. You are welcome. Castillo Jesse, yo apenas voy a aplicar para AP, entonces tengo que hacer request de FOIA para mi AP por la razón que mencioné que me agarraron muchas veces. Hazlo ahora. Recuerda que toma mucho tiempo, toma algunas veces un año. Hazlo lo más pronto que puedas. Hazlo antes de que hagas tu AP o antes de que salgas. Solo para clarificar, entonces, si mi DACA expira en diciembre y mando mi AP ahora y quiero 12 meses, mando mi renovación también y mando el recibo con el packet para que sí me den 12 meses de AP y no hasta diciembre que se me expira mi current DACA work permit, right? That was my complete question. So I can't say how much time you're going to get. You're looking to get a full year. But your DACA expires in December. So an AP is not going to be granted longer than what your DACA authorization is valid for. So if you want a higher chance of getting multiple entries for a year, I suggest that you renew it now, like I said, and then with the receipt, send your advanced parole application, or you can also send your advanced parole application, renew your DACA later, and then when you get that receipt, upload it into your USCIS account. Gaby, yo esperé un año más para hacer mi ajuste después de mi esposo. ¿Me aconsejas que por lo menos envíe mi I-130? ¿Habría alguna ventaja en hacerlo? ¿O me espero hasta que haga el AOS? Muchas gracias. ¿Por qué vas a esperar? Dice, yo esperaré un año más para hacer mi ajuste después de mi esposo. ¿Pueden hacerlo los dos a la misma vez? Right. Right. Right, Katie, yeah. So I will have to file for another AP again? No, I never said that. Ok, lo haré lo más pronto posible, pero entonces sí tendré problemas al regresar con AP. No. Si tu DACA está vigente y te dan permiso para viajar con Advanced Parole, no vas a tener problemas al regresar. Pero si quieres hacer el ajuste de estatus y no sabes cuántas entradas están registradas en tu caso, por eso es que sugiero que hagas el FOIA. Lalo Esca, can I ask to go see my aunt that she's sick, just sick, and also to get my Thor fixed at the same time? Yeah, I mean, your relative doesn't have to be in critical dire condition. If she's sick, for example, she has diabetes, she has high blood pressure, that's more than enough to go visit an aunt or a relative. Fabi, con Advance Parole es mejor regresar por el aeropuerto o por el border crossing. Siempre sugiero regresar por el aeropuerto, pero si no puedes por el aeropuerto, puedes cruzar por la frontera. Sugiero cruzar por el aeropuerto porque los oficiales saben más, están más informados. Yo crucé por la frontera la segunda vez que regresé con Advance Parole y los oficiales no sabían lo que eran Advance Parole. Así que sugiero que viajes por avión si puedes. Dice, pero el abogado me aconsejó esperar cuando cumpla 10 años continuos. Entré con visa B2 y me dijeron que tenía el castigo de 10 años y tengo que esperar un año más. ¿Un castigo? ¿Pero por qué vas a tener un castigo si usted entró legal? Anabel, thank you for all the team for everything you do. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. Justice Galindo, I want to file AOS for my spouse. Do we have to send all the paperwork at once? Like, can we file the I-130 and I-485 first and file AP and employment authorization later on? You can if you want to. Remember, the AP and employment authorization is not required, but if you were to send the extra documents like AP and employment, I suggest you send your I-765. AOS was delivered on the 19th. How long before I get the receipt? Just want to beat the April price. So you already beat the April price. It has to be postmarked before April 1st. So you don't have to worry about the new price. The new price goes into effect April 1st. So anything that's sent on or after April 1st is going to have the new price. Since it's sent before, it's going to have the same original price. Ilse Aguilar, I am not a paralegal. I'm just a person that has been with this group for about 3 years. I've learned a lot, and I can help answer some questions. Gracias, Gaby. Acumulé presencia legal. Me quedaba más tiempo de mi permiso y volví a salir y a entrar. ¿Pero entraste con permiso o sin permiso? Lalo, sorry, I meant to ask to see my sick aunt and fix my tooth. Yeah, you can add as many reasons in one advance parole application. Luis Angon, do you need to justify needing 12 months multiple entries for dental? I've seen people getting RFE because they only need a filling and a tooth removal. I mean, if you have extensive dental work, then you're gonna need multiple entries. If you only need, a tooth removal or a filling, then they're most likely going to give you lesser time. Perfect, thank you. But typically for dental reasons, there is a greater chance of getting multiple entries because dental work is not just a one-time thing. You need to, there's follow-ups. If your dentist can write a letter saying, hey, this patient needs to be coming in for at least a year for their dental cleaning, braces, stuff like that, then that's even better. That way you can, they see, hey, this person legitimately needs multiple entries. But if it's for a small reason, then maybe it's like, okay, this person doesn't need to be coming in and going back because they only need something small. Also get really detailed in your affidavit. Make sure that you explain, hey, I need to go multiple times because, my job or because of the time that I'm going to be recovering from the dental procedure. Dice Ani, Gaby, el 25 tenemos la revisión para IVAs con ustedes. Si lo enviamos el día 28 estaremos bien con los mismos costos. Sí, tiene que tienen que enviarlo antes del 1 de abril para quedarse con el precio actual. Pero cuando tengas tu revisión del paquete, asegúrate de hacerles a las chicas las preguntas que me estás haciendo aquí, para que ellas tienen más educación sobre el ajuste de estatus que yo tengo. All right, chicos, ¿qué otras preguntas tienen? Voy a hacer aquí unos minutitos más. All right, ¿alguna otra pregunta? Any other questions? Ok, chicos, si no tienen ninguna otra pregunta, aseguren de unirse a Dreamers Together, DACA Dreamers Together, AOS at Dreamers Together. Síganos en YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Mira, ahí vienen las preguntas. Si necesitan ayuda en agendar una cita, pueden mandar un mensaje de texto a este número. If you guys need help making an appointment, please send one message to this number explaining what type of services you need, and then we will be able to send you a booking link. Dice, yo quiero hacer Advanced Parole. Hola, manos. Mira, ya me llegaron 100 preguntas cuando dije que ya me iba a ir. Ok, chicas, voy a contestar unas cuantas más. Yo quiero hacer Advanced Parole. Únete a nuestro grupo de Facebook. Si necesitas ayuda individual, you can send a message here. Puedes mandar un mensaje de texto diciendo en qué necesitas ayuda, o sea, si necesitas ayuda para Advanced Parole, y nosotros te vamos a mandar un enlace para agendar una cita. Mil gracias por tu paciencia. Gracias. How fast are AOS getting approved? Most of them are getting approved in less than a year. Crystal, my husband is applying for the first time for AP to see his sick grandma. What are some reasons you've seen that it gets denied? Has it happened? Thank you. In very rare occasions, does an application get denied? They have to send you an RFE first. So USCIS isn't gonna say denied. They're gonna send you a note saying, hey, we need more evidence. You didn't send birth certificates. If you didn't translate something, if you forgot to put the translation certification, if the doctor letter doesn't have enough information, those things you can get a request for evidence for. If you don't send what they're asking, then it's gonna be denied. Sí, puedes hacer cita. Aquí está el número. If you guys need to book an appointment, please send one message to us. We will respond as soon as we can. We are, we're volunteers. So please bear with us. We will respond in less than 24 hours with a booking link. You guys can also book yourselves by logging into dreamerstogether.org. Dice, Ilse, mi esposo tiene DACA, hicimos el Advanced Parole hace 2 años. Yo quise arreglar, pero nos han dicho los abogados que él no puede arreglar el Green Card por el castigo de 10 años que tiene y no sé qué hacer para ayudarlo. Su esposo tiene DACA, pero ¿qué castigo tiene? ¿Qué castigo? ¿Puedes hacer una cita con nosotros, Ilse, para que nuestro departamento de ajuste de estatus te pueda ayudar a contestar esas preguntas? Jessica Pantoja, I'm a little confused on the I-864W. What are the required documents to send? Tax transcripts, pay stubs. We have an I-864 video on YouTube on how to fill it out. All right, chicos, ya me voy a ir, ya una hora. Voy a tratar de hacer aquí también la próxima semana. Recuerden de seguirnos en Facebook. Tenemos todos los videos en YouTube. Tenemos todos los videos de los en vivos, the lives en el grupo de Dreamers Together Inc. Ahí van a ver todos mis videos, los videos de las otras chicas. Así que por favor, únanse a nuestros grupos y nos vemos para la próxima. Bye, chicos.